Today's lesson, we're going to look at two topics in both 6.5 and 6.6. And all of the statements begin with finding the equation for a line. So as we've talked about already, you can find the equation of a line when you know the slope and the y-intercept. But what if, and then if you look at the learning goals, we're going to consider three different scenarios. What if you don't have the slope and y-intercept? That's the most basic. But if you have a slope and a point, or if you have 2 points, how do you find the equation of a line? So the first example, the slope and the y-intercept are given. So as I mentioned before, right away you should notice that this is the simplest because we know the format y equals mx plus b, and we would replace the slope for the letter m, and we would replace the b with this number here, -5. So rewriting it, you still keep the y, you still keep the x, but instead of a m, you write the number 3, and instead of a plus b, you write plus -5, or just -5. And that's it. For the second example, we have the slope, so the value that we are given is m. Now the point, if we had to name or use the letters that we have in the equation y equals mx plus b, then this point could be used as an x value and a y value, and in which case, if we sub all of those in, the only variable that we don't know is b. So let's go through the list. Y can be substituted with the number 7. M is -4. X is 3, and remember mx means m times x, so I'm going to substitute using a bracket, plus b. This is a linear equation. So I've mentioned before that we've been using skills from previous chapters. We need to isolate or solve for b. So we can rewrite this as -12 plus b. And in order to have b on its own, we need to move the -12 over to the other side. So -12 moves over here and it becomes positive. So now we have 7 plus 12 equals b. So b equals 19, and now if we consider the first question, it's as if we had been given the m and the b like we were before. So the final answer, final equation, is y equals -4x plus 19. So we did that work to find the y-intercept, to find b. Alright, example 3. In this example, we don't have the slope and we don't have the y-intercept, but we have 2 points. So if you think back to last unit, we can find the slope using 2 points. And the formula describes finding the change in y divided by the change in x. So delta y over delta x. And we can subtract the points in any order, but we'll do 3 minus 5 for the top. Oops, sorry. 3 minus 5 for the top. And then that would mean we start with -1 minus 2 on the bottom. So the slope is -2 over -3. Two negatives can be simplified as a positive, and this is normally where students get confused because the answer is a fraction. Unfortunately, 2 over 3, there is no decimal value equal to 2 over 3, exactly equal to it. So we're going to have to continue using this fraction instead. At this point now, what we have is something that looks very similar to question 2. So if you think back, we have the slope and we have 2 points. Actually, we have more than 1 point. So we can choose either one, but we want to replace it in the format of the equation y equals mx plus b. So we're going to replace the y, we're going to place the m, the x, and then the only thing we'll have left is b. You can choose either value. Some students like to choose the one that doesn't have the negative, or one that has 0, so we'll take the first one there. So the x value here is 2 and the y value is 5. So 5 equals 2 over 3, that's m, times x, which is 2, plus b. Okay, we'll continue on. So we have multiplying. Now, once again, if you're not super comfortable with fractions and you forgot how to work with them, you can type this into a calculator. They're just two numbers that are multiplied. So 2/3 times 2 is 4/3 plus b. And just as before, to isolate b, we need to move this number value to the other side. It just happens to be a fraction. So when we do that, positive 4 over 3 will become negative 4 over 3. And then as a final answer, the answer is 11 over 3. So once again, now we have an m value and a b value. We had to find both, but we have them. So we have m is 2/3 and b is 11 over 3. Final answer, y equals 2/3 m x plus b. And once again, both fractions are values that cannot be expressed as a decimal, as an exact decimal. So please stick with fractions when that's the case. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about the rest on Monday.